Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's George Weber from Tino Negos here, and there's a lot of hype about Heroes lately, and Heroes is my favorite deck ever, and I've seen a lot of builds on YouTube, and a lot of them I just don't really like. I don't feel like they're competitive, so I'm going to show you my build. A warning right now, this is not a budget deck. You will need resources and money to build this deck, essentially. So we're going to start off with the monster lineup. So first, we got Stratos. Stratos is self-explanatory. You need him for the deck. Next, 3 Elemental Hero Neo Alias. He's the beat stick and he's a light. He's just really good. So next we have 2 Elemental Hero Voltic. He's really good with Fusion Gate. On top of that, he's a light. He's just all around awesome. Next, we have 1 Elemental Hero Wildheart. He's for the Mask Change. He's an Earth, and he's 15. On top of that, he's unaffected by trap cards, so he's good for a late game push. Like if your opponent has, let's say, only like 1,000 life points left or like 1,200 life points left, but they got 4 back row. Drop a Wildheart, attack for game. They can't Fiendish Chain it. They can't Deep Prison. They can't Mirror Force. They can't do anything to it because he's unaffected by trap cards. On top of that, if you run into the one opponent using DDV, he's unaffected by DDV. The only trap cards he's really affected are by like summon counters, which is like Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, etc. Next, 1 Ocean. Ocean is really good on the plussing, and I know a lot of people are thinking I should be using more of these guys, but the thing is that they're searchable. So with the mask change, whenever I draw the mask change, I'm just going to search these guys out instead of my alias. So that's essentially what it comes down to. 2 Thunder King Ryo. Too good first turn drop this format. It's very, very powerful against this meta. 1 Honest. If you notice, I have all those lights. On top of that, drop an Honest on a Voltic, then special summon 1 from RFG. It's really good. Next, 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld. This has a lot of uses. Not only can I go Zen mains, since I'm using Fusion Gate, I can fuse and then drop Tour Guide into Leviair and then bring back my Stratos and keep going. On top of that, with the release of Mask Change, another play is released. If you have Tour Guide and a Mask Change, you have an instant Diane thanks to this card, MX Saber Invoker. His effect is you can once per turn you can detach a material to special summon 1 level 4 or lower warrior or beast warrior earth type monster from your deck in defense position. So what you do is you special summon Wildheart and then mask change into Diane. It's a very powerful play. It essentially can turn your Tour Guide and your mask change into Invoker, Diane, and any hero from your deck. It's a very powerful play. On top of that, Tour Guide opens up all the oddball fusions with Miracle Fusion because Leviair is my wind for Great Tornado. Zen mains is my fire for Nova Master. Then Invoker is my earth for Gaia. And then Leviathan Dragon is my water for Absolute Zero. So I hit all the oddball fusions with the Tour Guides. On top of that, Tour Guide is very fast and it opens up the BLS play. And then with Tour Guide, you're also going to use Sangan. And then with the Tour Guide, you're also going to use BLS. For hand traps, I use 2 Max C. This helps deal with special summons and helps thin my deck. And then 2 Valor. It's another light. It's a control card. Next for the spell cards. First, we got 2 Fusion Gates. I'm not doing 3 because Fusion Gate can clump. On top of that, you don't need Fusion Gate to win. Fusion Gate is just like a very, 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 very good card in the deck. Next, we got 3 Miracle Fusions. Miracle Fusion is self-explanatory. It's very, very good. It's what makes Heroes awesome. Next, we got 3 Emergency Call. A lot of people only use 2. I use 3 because of the Fusion Gate. On top of that, with the Mask Chains running around, if you draw the Mask Change, you want to immediately be able to search into your Mask Change target. So that's why I use 3 E-Calls. Then 2 Mask Change. It's just very good. 2 Forbidden Lance. It helps protect my monsters. It's an uninspected damage calculation play, and it protects the Shining Loop from Bottomless and Deep Prison. Next, 2 super polymerization. Self-explanatory, fuse with everything except darks. And then Monsterborn, Dark Hole, Reinforcements of the Army. Now, to make the deck the way I wanted to, I had to cut out a lot of stuff in the trap lineup, but I made it work very well. I used 2 Solemn Warnings, and then 2 Royal Decree. This works because if I don't draw the decree, I get the warning, and if I don't get the warning, I get the decree. Generally, that's how it always is. On top of that, heroes were never really trap heavy. They never really relied on traps. They always relied on their spell card plays. So just being able to go decree and then do what heroes do anyway is just a very good play, and it's very significantly helpful because of the simple fact that I can just take your, just go off on you without fear of bottomless anymore or warning. As for the extra deck, I got 3 Elemental Hero, the Shinings. Just Shining Loop, it's really good, man. My masked hero targets are Diane and Acid. I only use 1 of each because I only use 2 mask change. I'm probably going to go into 1 of them per game. I'm not going to go into both. And depending on the situation is which hero I'll search out for. And then for the fusions, like you saw before, you got 1 Great Tornado, 1 Absolute Zero, 1 Gaia Knight, or not Gaia Knight, Elemental Hero Gaia, 1 Nova Master. And then for Exceeds, for rank 4, I got Utopia and Steel Swarm Roach. The reason I don't use Blade Armor Ninja is just because the extra deck room was really tight and I couldn't fit him in. And Utopia is way too good, and he's an honest target. And then he's my Dark for BLS, and on top of that, he's good against random rogue decks. Like, you might hit the random rogue agent deck or something like that. So it's just good to keep him as an option. Then MX Saber Invoker for the play I was talking about. Zen mains because he's too good. Leviair to bring back removed cards that get removed through Fusion Gate and or Miracle Fusion, or Bottomless even. Some people sometimes Bottomless Stratos or Alias or something and just bring it back with Leviair next turn. And then 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon. And then that's the extra deck. For side deck, I have 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. They're not mained because Stratos is kind of my MST. Plus, I don't really have to worry about trap cards because of Decree. But the decks that I do need to worry, I side into 3 MSTs. Then 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I would keep the tour guides in main deck, even though I side Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. It could draw dead, but the reasoning behind it is that I would probably get tour guide off first, get into my Exceed, and then drop the Shadow Imprisoning. Like, if I drew Shadow Imprisoning and tour guide, I would tour guide first turn into Zen mains or something, and then set the Shadow Imprisoning. Then I side deck 2 Fiendish Chain. There's a lot of matchups where I'm not going to want to Decree. So the matchups where I don't want Decree, I side in Fiendish Chain instead, because Fiendish Chain is the next best trap card next to Solemn Warning. Then I use 2 Black Horn of Heaven. This card is just an answer. It's a free Solemn Warning. It just stops shit. For control decks or just random rogue beat decks, I got 2 Snowman Eaters. He can turn into a 0. He's 19 defense and kills a card. He's probably one of my favorite cards in the side deck. 1 Super Poly for stuff like Rabbit. It hits. Basically, if you're going up against a non-dark deck, you're going to side into another one. Then finally, 2 Cyber Dragons and the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Just because if I lost game 1, if I won game 1, if I won game 1 and I'm going second, Cyber Dragon's awesome. On top of that, he's awesome against windups, and he's, I don't know. Everyone knows why Cyber Dragon's good, man. Alright, well, that's it for this build. I hope you guys like it. Go ahead, comment below if you have any comments about it, and peace out, guys.